welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a refilm actually. If you saw my posts on Instagram where I lost my mind, I have filmed this video before, so it is no longer first impressions. It will be a review. The only thing that makes me more sad than having to refilm it is because this video, the original time I filmed it, is probably, or was, probably the funniest experience that's happened like live, well not live, but like as I was filming, and there is no audio, but I can read my own lips and it's just so funny and I really wanted to experience that with you. So I will just try to convey what the roller coaster journey that entire video was whilst going through these 3 Zara scents with you guys. So without any further ado, if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, all that good stuff. But we have 3 Zara scents. The Vibrant Cities collection has continued. And what I really appreciate about you guys is you always let me know. I let you know that you should let me know, and you guys keep me in check, you keep me in line, and you keep me updated on when Jo Malone and Zara are doing collections together. Just in case I don't want to miss out. You know the drill. And so one of you reached out and was like, aren't you excited for the new 3 cities that Vibrant Cities is releasing? And I had not heard about it. And I was like, let me jump on that. And so I go and I'm like, oh, they're men's fragrances. Interesting that Jo Malone would do this. And anyways, I'm looking on the website and there's no mention of Jo, and they have Fragrantica pages already, but she's not listed as a perfumer. And sometimes that happens. Fragrantica needs like a minute to catch up, or they just forget, whatever the reason. So I just wasn't sure. And whoever you are, you know who you are, but we were talking back and forth and I'm like, is it not? And so I reached out to Jo Loves, which is Jo Malone's, if you guys don't know, it's Jo Malone's fragrance house, because she sold Jo Malone, the fragrance house itself. So the actual perfumer Jo now has Jo Loves. So I reached out to them. They were super responsive on Instagram, and I was like, hey, we were chatting in DMs. Anyways, I just love you guys. I love her collections with Zara. Just want to make sure she's the perfumer on these Vibrant City 3 trio that's just come out. And they were like, absolutely can confirm Jo is the perfumer. And I was like, fantastic. Put in the order, got the fragrances mid filming this video. And I was like, isn't it funny how Fragrantica forgot to put them? I don't have the boxes now, but anyways, the boxes had these like little quotes like all her Jo Malone Vibrant Cities do. And on the back, it's like a little blurb about each one of the cities. And I'm reading and I'm like, oh, Tulum, interesting. And on the back of the box, it's signed perfumer Jérôme Epinette. And I was like, what? And basically lost my mind and just went into like a state on that video. So I will just try to recreate that or have you imagine it more like, and I just couldn't believe, like I didn't understand why. I don't think Jo Loves social media manager, whoever was answering, lied, but if they weren't sure, they shouldn't have told me that, obviously. And if they made a mistake because they thought it was like the original Vibrant Cities, like I clearly said this trio, and you just got to be sure. I mean, I wouldn't have purchased these if they weren't by her. And I just felt kind of cheated and deceived and was like, what the hell? And so anyways, that video had a lot sadder of a tone and confusion. Since then, I've actually Googled Jérôme Epinette because I want to do perfumer series on different perfumers, obviously. And he actually is the perfumer on Bal d'Afrique, which is one of my top 5 favorite scents of all time. So I've just kind of changed my mindset to a certain degree. I probably still wouldn't have bought all 3. At least in the excitement. Maybe I would have waited until they went on sale, because I don't buy all the Zara scents. I want the Jo Malone ones. Anyways, I will put a timestamp right at the beginning of this video. So for those of you who don't care about the story, you will have jumped right here. We are going to get into the scent itself, but for the rest of you, I wanted to give you that blurb and catch you up if you like chatty videos, because that was a journey and not the best one. But these are 3 scents made by Jérôme Pinette. It is part of like the Vibrant Cities range, but also because it's men's, it's kind of like the Vibrant Leather range. Zara is confusing as always. And they are all created by Jérôme Pinette, not Joe Malone. I got your backs. Do not be fooled like I was. Shame on you, Joe Loves. So, we are going to start with Tulum, and that has ginger, watermelon, and seawater. Again, obviously, I've tried these before, so they're not going to be first impressions, but I haven't worn them since that video because I've been trying other things, so they'll be pretty close to first impressions. The bottles look like this. They're really nice, just very sleek, masculine. I will say whether I think the scent is more masculine or unisex depending on the one. I will say though, these have magnetic caps. Fancy. So well done, Zara, on those. But, okay, so this one, I'm remembering now. This one, I was just really surprised about that. Obviously, they have more fragrance notes than the 3 that are listed. Zara usually doesn't list the whole lot, but it lists ginger, watermelon, and seawater, which are supposedly the more prominent ones. And it doesn't smell like ginger nor watermelon. There is a real citrusy, I suppose, seawater, but I was just really worried originally that this would be very aquatic. And if that's something that worries you, rest assured that I feel it's way more in the citrusy scent category than aquatic, really. There is a slight murkiness to it that I think if you're very sensitive to aquatic scents, you should skip altogether. But other than that, I don't think it's too aquatic at all, because the citrusy just takes over. I wish there was ginger in this, or I wish there was more, because I don't get any ginger on my skin. Ginger is such a beautiful note in fragrances that I love, especially when mixed in with flowers, like even ginger flower or white florals. I think it's so nice, and it gives such a beautiful zing, and I just don't see that at all. This seems like it could have been Moschino Love. I don't know if that's here. Oh yeah, this. Let me just pull this one out for a sec. Because this is a very inexpensive, like I think I got this one for around 20. Yeah, okay, so this I like more. This is a citrusy scent, kind of along the same lines as this. But if I was going to reach for something, and in that way they're, you know, they're unisex, because this is supposedly a women's fragrance and this is for men. And because it's just citrusy and fresh, like which one would I reach for if I was in the mood? Probably this one. Just because of that like slight, I wouldn't say seawater, I would just say aquatic vibes. But it's all right. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. It's sort of safe, but again, maybe not even the safest if you're just buying it as a gift. There are better ones from Zara, from the men's collections that I would get. But yeah, that one is Tulum. All right, I think I'm going to leave my favorite for last now that I know what my favorite is, because it's not a first impression. But the next one is Fiji, and I was actually really even more excited, not to keep harping on, but I was even more excited about these because I have not been to these 3 places of these vibrant cities, so I was like, how exciting. They're all so tropical, they're all so nice, and no, it wasn't Joe. But anyways, this has clementine, bitter orange, Szechuan pepper, amber, and woody notes. And this one's Vibrant Cities in Fiji. I'm also very thrown by the naming because Vibrant Cities in Fiji, okay, I suppose. But Vibrant Cities in Tulum, like Tulum's already a city. Anyways, I will stop complaining now. But if we're going to get nitpicky, we can. Okay, so this one I remember is supposed to smell like a men's fragrance. I think it's Dior Sauvage. People were saying it's supposed to smell like. And This one I actually have worn again after that filming that video because I don't own Dior Sauvage. I've smelled it, of course, throughout the years. And I wish I had it so I could compare side to side, but just blind, and I've worn it on its own when I'm not comparing to other things, just blind to me, it doesn't smell like a dupe. But people were so adamant that I'm like, make your own assumptions. There is, I think, a similarity that I smell, but I really, really like Dior Sauvage. I know it's overdone in many ways, but I don't get the same love when I smell this. This smells very sort of like sweet, masculine citrus to me. It's got a kick to it, but it's not a hugely like peppery amber kick, but it does ground it in something. I prefer this if you're gonna go with a fragrance out of this collection that has citrus notes in it. I prefer Fiji over Tulum personally because this doesn't have any, even a slight aquatic vibe. Best case scenario, this reminds you of Sauvage and you can save some money and get yourself a dupe. In my view, from, scent memory alone, it doesn't smell like a dupe, but, you can kind of gauge whether or not it would be to your taste that way. I think this one's a little bit more masculine also. I feel like this is more, if you're like me and you wear scent regardless of gender, then you'll like this. But Tulum is just so much more simple. And in that case, it falls more unisex. Probably unisex masculine, but definitely unisex possibility. Whereas with Fiji, there's more of like a masculine take to it. Again, not very, very ultra because they're quite fresh. They're supposed to be spring, summer scents. They're easy to wear scents. And yeah, that's that one. And my favorite one, definitely by a long shot, is Vibrant Cities in Saint Tropez. This one has, and you'll probably, if you know me well, be able to guess why, but this one has pepper, Bellini, geranium, albumum, salt, woody notes, and citruses. So this also has citruses, but if you were guessing it's because of the Bellini notes, then you were right. I just love this one. This one, to me, is also the one that maybe extends itself a little bit towards a feminine fragrance. It's not by any means. Oops, so sorry. It's not feminine, but it really does have a peach candy vibe to it that is sweet. Otherwise, the citruses are not super tart. They're not super piercing. I don't think it's really peppery or dark in any way. It just, yeah, it's just a really nice one. I feel like this one is the one that, again, most women and men, or most women will be drawn to as a men's fragrance. So it's really nice. Would I again have said it's like the best from the Vibrant Cities collection, including the ones Jo Malone has released? Not by a long shot. There are a lot more cities overall that do it for me over Saint Tropez, but in this particular collection, I think it's both the most interesting and the most unisex. So really, really like that one comparatively. And I find it's a really interesting kind of peach candy Bellini note that's thrown in into the mix. So yeah, that was my quick review, hopefully quick review on the Vibrant Cities collection extension that came out. I would say if you can, because I haven't heard from anyone that they've been able to smell these in store, but if you can, definitely give them a try before you purchase. If not, the ones I would recommend the most are Fiji and Saint Tropez. If you're looking for something a little bit more like the most warm of the tropical summery scents, then I would go for Fiji. It's probably the safest also. Safest blind buy would be Fiji because it really is kind of the most, what you see on the tin is what you're going to get. My favorite personally and the sweetest is Vibrant Cities in Saint Tropez. because of that Bellini note. It is interesting. It's also a little bit unsafe as a blind buy just because it's more of an interesting scent. So if you're willing to take a risk and go for it, then this would be my fave. And then personally, I'm forgetting where I put this one, but Vibrant Cities in Tulum, it's just the all right, you know what I mean? It's not really breaking any boundaries. It's not really interesting enough for me personally. And if I was gonna go for something like this, personally, I'd probably go for Moschino Funny, and I think it does a better job for like a safe, generic, overall citrusy, summery scent. So yeah, I hope that was helpful for you. Definitely check the description box below. Subscribe over here, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye!